Thank you. Hopefully we can do a little bit better of a job showing off on the second attempt here. I mean, not a bad start. I'm a sucker for getting a fish right off the bat. Gotta love the 2-3. Again, respect on the health is all I have. But 2 ants and a mosquito, it's actually a pretty decent combination right off the bat here. So I'm going to freeze you and roll just in case we get something else. But otherwise, I think this is a half decent squad for round 1. And let's see. Running noses is pretty great. Wavy fishes, proper noses, wavy noses. Running rodents was actually the first one my brain saw. I'm definitely always drawn to alliteration, but slightly above that is cleverness. And so I like it when adjectives and the nouns really gel well together. So I think I'm going to go with the running noses. Feeling a bit of a cold coming on. Hopefully that's good luck in our future. And okie dokie. Oh, that's not great. Yeah. Not good at all. Still a draw. It's not the end of the world. Unfortunately, you don't want one of your ants taken off or taken out in the first moments there. And interesting. We almost have the perfect squad to just continue on here, because we could run double mosquito, dealing 1 damage to 2 different enemies. Early game, that could be huge. We could take out 2 different ants that are trying to be in the front line here, as well as just lining up 3 ants on a log here. Save the combine for next level when we can cheese out an extra tier there. I think I do like that. We of course have the money to reroll, so I might as well to see again if that changes their mind any way, shape, or form. Doesn't look like it, so I think I will run with this to start off, and maybe just throw down an apple on somebody to increase our odds of winning, but just that little bit extra, and we'll see how the squad goes. It's definitely a wacky one, mixture of sniping and just throwing the ants into the mill here. But it works out pretty well, especially against a couple of tough frontline units here. We can hopefully chunk them down. I mean, I would have liked to do it without losing too much of my own, but hey, the dirty rat that they gave me won us the game. So if you look at that. Oh man, ants on a log, your childhood. Definitely a classic snack from back in the day. Oh, such a good one. And though I'm always curious how people have made it in the past, because that's one of those recipes that I feel like has a couple of minor changes. Like I know that I recently was hearing about how certain places up here in Canada use cheese whiz instead of peanut butter, because it's celery, peanut butter, raisins, right? At least that's what it means in my head. But I'm always curious what other people combine, because it is such a classic snack, and yet has so many different ways that people have made it. Okay, let's go for 1 reroll. See if we can get something else up our alley here. I maybe should have locked down the fainting pill. Might take out one of our ants, but that's a-okay. Instead here, I think we will run the full combine, see what we get. Badger. Not a huge fan of the badger. I mean, good stats. Don't get me wrong, but usually the best you can get out of this is a draw. Cheese whiz on celery? I know it sounds real wacky, hey? I'm not a big fan of cheese whiz, so I don't think that it would have been up my alley exactly. But definitely is a half decent snack up here in Canada in terms of popularity. The monsters. We'll throw in a couple of rerolls to see what we get. Early crabs, if we can start buffing something, could be really nice. Copy that health. But I think I'm going to be a little bit snobby with my choices here and really try and see what we got. Badger with Ox is actually at play. Nice, yeah, getting the melon armor right before smashing them. Makes sense. Even just turning your badger into a honey badger can be nice. In fact, we could have done that now that I think about it for even a moment. Because the honey badger gives you the bee after they do their thing, and that can be nice. But hey, managed to make it through another one with a victory. Badger didn't have to get involved whatsoever. Always love to see that. And round 4. Maybe that's not too early, or too late rather, to get the dog taking off here. I definitely don't mind. I'm also very partial to the swans. Decent stat line mixed with getting the extra, essentially an extra reroll each turn can do huge wonders in terms of the overall continuation of your team. But what I think we'll do here is something a little bit sneaky. 1, 2, 3, and then we can still afford to buy something. Swan is so good. Yeah, I fully concur. But I think I'm going to combine my mesquites. I'm going to throw my dog into the mix. Then feint this front ant, because we're probably going to get rid of both these anyway. We don't have to focus on leveling them up. Get a free bonus onto our dog. Nice, perfect. And then, what do we wish to do? I guess start with the mosquito. Level you up and see what we get. Sheep. Okay, because I was almost hoping that would be crap so that I could just pick up the swan. Sheep is definitely interesting. This early on in the game can definitely win entire fights on its own. Plus it also adds a couple of extra triggers onto our dog friend here mid-fight, so that's definitely always nice. Question becomes, do I want to go long game with Swan? Go for some early wins with the sheep? I think I can't say no to the sheep this early on. That's really nice, and we can get that extra bonus. And then hopefully keep our 10 health around for as long as possible here so that we can have that available in the late game for when things start to go rough. The open slot by Speedo and then combine +1 to dog, easy to miss. Oh, right. That's 100% correct, and I just completely missed it. Whoops. Oh, and they win with the... Oh, never mind, they get sniped. Draw. Okay. Thanks, Honey Badger. That works out for me. Still maintaining that 10 health. But no, that's a huge one, safe it, for sure. I gotta remember to always utilize open slots, and in fact, usually, or a lot of the times, I'll sell something that might actually be pretty good. Like we could sell our badger just to have another slot to keep buffing up our dog, such as now when we want to combine our dogs together. It'd be nice if we can get an open slot to do so. What else? Now this is the early garlic armor that I was remiss to not have last round here, because at this stage in the game this completely negates stuff like our sheep. If you go up against a sheep and you have garlic armor, you're barely taking any damage whatsoever as you chunk through all those bad boys. So that's pretty huge. The question becomes, what do I want to sell? Do I want to sell my sheep? I mean, badger's not going to be around forever. It's between the two. In some ways, the sheep is like a 6/6 with the way that it brings stuff in. Of course, again, if you're up against something like garlic armor, that's not exactly going to be the case. You'd rather have something that's hitting a little bit harder once than the multiple small. But it's still something. Sorry, Badger. You served us well. Thank you so much for the draw. I appreciate you and everything you've done for the world. But I want to use this slot to bring in a dog. Combine you. And then I will freeze you. I think freeze you in case we lose this next round. And then we'll go for a reroll. See what we get. Another sheep. Don't mind if I do. Pop that into an empty slot here. Make sure we get that bonus. Reroll once more even. Though maybe the salad would have been a half decent get there. And would we rather have the extra sheeps, I guess sheep and rams running around, or something like a swan added to the back to make our next turn slightly better. Could just have them around for one turn as well. That's not bad. Nice thing about keeping the sheep is we could then use the garlic. Let's go with the garlic play. Try and get our dog to survive slightly longer. We might even just put all the sheep in the back so they can be cleanup crew for some of the squishier units. At least from my experiences, most of the time people are stacking the front of their teams with their heaviest hitters. So that could be good enough for sure. See if we can't chunk through this. Okay. Oh, that was a beautiful snake. Thank you, mosquito. Thank you. Unfortunately, garlic wasn't quite enough, and then... How does this chunk out? We win this, right? Yeah, okay. Always takes me a moment for the brain to figure out how the numbers are gonna land there. But very happy with that. That was huge. And unfortunately it means no snail for us. Dog behind sheep for more +1s during the fights maybe. That is true. Having the sheep in front of the dog does allow us to get more +1s. But so often I like having my garlic armor tough unit at the front to chunk through stuff, especially with so many like on combat triggers or hurt triggers being thrown into squads these days. But I am missing out on a solid, I mean, with 2 sheep, that's a +4/+4. I mean, somewhere in the range of +4 attack, 2 +4 health, somewhere in there. So that could have been huge. But let's see, is there anything I really want from here? I think I'm going to lean in pretty hard to what we have going, unless something comes up that really changes things. Ox can be really good, certain combinations, getting a few different triggers behind a summon unit, stuff like that. But for now, I think I'll pass you by and see what luck hands us. Another sheep is kind of nice. Because then we can... No, don't do that. What I meant to do, combine these sheep, then we can summon one in, get that nice buff for our dog. And then we have to ask ourselves, do we want to combine these sheep, giving us a level 2 and potentially access to a beautiful addition to the team here, or hold off one more round to get the double on odd numbers is when we go up tier rankings, and so that can be really nice to get the skip to the next tier up, if you know what I mean. Crab Rave. That's one of my favorite Beat Saber songs. I wish we could have a good crab build going. Unfortunately, right now, nobody's looking decent in the health department. All of our +1 additions have gone to the attack side of dog, which is rough in my books. Not great. But, let's see. Statistical bonus. Leave everyone alone. We'll probably go for a reroll here. Now that I think about it, we could combine rabbit apple, I guess, instead. That's something. When I say it out loud, I do like it better, especially since combine might give us something else. And sure, we could wait, get the, what would it even be, a level 5 unit next round? Could get a level 5 unit. Alternatively, though, could just get the squad popping off now, right? So I'm going to combine you. See what we get. Dolphin, again, can snipe out things like crabs here. Like, I guess a bit too earlier for Scorpion. Does this man just say the bonuses on the dog were rough? This man was born to be a dad. I do my best. Even when I'm not doing it intentionally, I think something triggers. It's in the subconscious. Just, you gotta say it. Let's buy the rabbit. Buff up our dog once more here, even out those totals a bit. And now that we have the leveled up ram, I think we will move it up. Also, according to what Safid was just mentioning, making sure that we get those extra spawn triggers could definitely be the difference between life or death. Let's try that out for size, shall we? see what we come up against. I do wish that we kill you in one hit, but it is what it is. That kangaroo is going to be mighty scary. Alternatively, could just die to a dumb-looking sheep. Ain't that something? In fact, this dog is still going to wipe the majority of your squad. You love to see it. You do love to see that. Okie dokie, up to 4 wins now, still no losses. That's huge. Still have a decent amount of room to play with. Can fool around a bit. Unfortunately, again, Bison. I want you so bad. We just don't have the squad for it. It's going to take us a little bit to level up. Could still freeze you, though I'm worried that we'll just end up in a similar case to last time around. We'll just keep infinitely, or keep you in a slot in the store infinitely, rather. Not a great look. Alternatively, though, we could get a level 3 right away here. Who knows? The question becomes, do we want to try and run this squad for one more turn, or roll the dice and hope that we get some appreciable differences? Because if we want to run this squad, I'm very tempted to double can here. Do we take a turn off to double can? Exactly what I was just thinking, Safid. Because most of this team is going to get swapped out. This ant, this mosquito, this rabbit, all going to go at some point relatively soon. And if we're going to be getting rid of them, we might as well buff up the units in our store so that we have a better chance of replacing them with something fantastic in the future. So I think we do have that health to play with, like we were just mentioning. So we'll invest in our future here, double can up, reroll once and see what we can't find. And, okay. We could can again, for obviously similar reasoning to what we've just been talking about. Alternatively, how am I feeling about a penguin? Fortunately, our dog isn't level 2, but our mosquito, sheep, and ant would all be getting bonuses. It's very tempting, but I think I like the idea of spreading bonuses across the board so much that I forget that a +1/+1 at this stage in the game isn't huge, and especially if we're giving it to units that, as just mentioned, we're probably going to end up selling relatively soon here. That's not that big of a boon. I mean, it's a triple can. I can't say no. It is a triple can. Uh-oh. Server, you okay? And that will give us a nice advantage for the future. This Bison, even without a level 3, is almost worth it to put into the squad now. So that's pretty huge. In fact, I'm even tempted to keep the Swan around, but let's roll the dice, see what we get next time around. Maybe we can replace something in the squad with an appreciable bonus here. And we'll just roll into the next one here. Fully expecting a loss. If we win this, that's a huge surprise and very nice, but not expected by any stretch of the imagination. Especially not with some garlic armor up at the front here. It's going to run the gamut on our weaklings, which means that kangaroo is going to be looking mighty scary. Yeah, not great. But hey, strategic losses, totally according to plan. We're all good there. Pop out, losing 3 health, but all for the better in the future. Because now we can start to get kind of interesting. Rooster with those statistical bonuses is pretty nice. In fact, the fact that everything is already pretty much as strong as our dog is pretty indicative of how much we want to switch out this team. We could even end up switching out the dog themselves here. So I think I'm going to start off with a sleeping pill in the ant. Hopefully hit our dog. Maybe I should have sold something else before doing so. Yeah, that's not who I wanted you to hit. But hey, it is what it is. You up to the front? No, not yet. Could do Rooster up at the front. But essentially, I'm very tempted to try and pull this rabbit into the mix. Start double buffing. So, the Rooster saved. I think it will be pretty huge, especially if we can level this up. You start getting a whole lot of summon triggers with too much damage to ignore. And that's one unit where the health doesn't matter so much, because as soon as you start bringing in 2 or 3 chicks, they'll just wipe the entire enemy team without having to worry about surviving through a single hit. So that can be pretty huge. So I think what we'll do here is sell a mesquite, bring in a rabbit, bring in a rooster. I'm going to freeze garlic, because we might end up using that right away here. But we'll still reroll, see if we can't find something else appreciable here. Reroll again. And a pair kind of works. Essentially, I'm balancing out right now. Do we want to put a garlic on our rooster, see if we can't get them to survive a couple more attacks, a couple more turns? Or do we want to invest onto buffing up our dog further? Because with the pair, we'll be getting that +2, +4 with the rabbits. Let us go with the pair. I think I want to get you adding up a bit here. We're getting on in the rounds. We've definitely slowed down in terms of our overall scaling, which is never fantastic. So we can see how that plays and how we feel. Okay, and this isn't too scary of a team at first blush. A lot of equipped items, which can definitely be a problem. In fact, a lot of them being garlic, not great for our sheep. That's fine. Wipe them out in just a couple of hits there. We should be able to chunk through the bus. And then that's the kangaroo gone as well. Perfect. So we did manage to have enough of a statistical advantage there to make it through in one piece. Can't complain about that. Tier 5 animals unlocked. Let's see what we get. We do find a turkey. So these +3/+3 boosts work pretty nicely with the sheep and the rooster for sure. I mean, almost doesn't matter with the rooster because the +3 health isn't exactly going to keep them alive. +3 attack on the chick? That's something. Question becomes, do we want to do that right away? Or do we want to freeze you for a second? I mean, the deer also, of course, synergizes nicely with the turkey, so we could do a bit of a pivot. Have our dog be our mainstay in terms of overall stats, and otherwise just buff everything up with the turkey. It would mean saying no to our rabbit. Okay, as wild as it is, I'm freezing all of you. I'm actually going to unfreeze the bison. I was so desperate to make you work. You're my favorite character. Probably the majority of my wins are bison wins. But it is what it is, and alas, alack, must say farewell. And this is where we, of course, okay, I was going to say get 3 sheep right off the bat that would have synergized with it. But I can take that. That worked out. And now, what do we wish to do? Could sell both of you. Can afford to pair up, as well as bring in these suckers. I think I like that. So we'll start with the pair. Buff up our dodge. Get that extra health. And then, I think we're saying bye-bye to both of y'all. Make sure we bring in the turkey first, because this +3/+3 affects anybody that we summon in after the fact. And then, deer can go in the front. This is a nice team in terms of being anti-scorpion. Freeze you. Go for a couple of rerolls. Okay, freeze you. Might as well freeze you. One more. Okay, that's a bit more expected there. Oh, perfect. Okay, looking pretty good coming into the next round here. You can see how well the turkey supplements into the team. And we do immediately run into a scorpion. Look at that. Okay, the bus not going to be huge. I don't think we have quite enough firepower to make it through the worm with just the chick. No. It's definitely, thanks to the rooster, looking a lot closer. Able to chunk through most of the team here and finally our rooster themselves win the battle. That's not something you see every day. A lot of times the rooster is just there for the flavor text. Not likely to win fights, but I guess triple can. What are you going to say? And then chocolate. My favorite item here. I mean, right off the bat, I think we will still level up our deer pal. It's nice to get a slightly stronger bus out of there. And then fly. Oh, this is getting tough. So it's nice how many things are summoning out. A fly gives us an extra summon for each thing, but I almost think it's a bit of a trap. It looks really cool and really fun when every time any of these things dies, you're bringing in a 2/2 that becomes a 5/5. It is pretty great, but what would we have to sacrifice to pull that off? Potentially our dog, who's the only thing that's actually taking out some real heavy hitters here. Don't really want to get rid of these buddies because they trigger nicely off the turkey. I guess the rooster could potentially... No, probably the sheep would go. Even though we get 2 7/7s out of it. There's probably some kind of deterministic math here to work it out. Goodbye sheep or dog, right? The dog is so tempting. Just fully dive deep headfirst into the summons build. It would be fun. Would definitely be thematic. But I do think we need at least one chonky boy on the team, you know? Make sure we actually have that staying power to make it through something a little bit tougher. But hey, should we just have fun with it? Because fly's pretty fun. You know, man, fly's so good with turkey, right? Especially if we can get like a tiger in the future, or just level up this turkey, which, hey, we do have the chocolate for, so that's something. Oh, I think we have to go for it. But as wild as it is, like rooster, I love the rooster. Unfortunately, it's not level 2 yet. So it's tempting to use this sheep instead, because let's walk through this for just a moment here. Let's give me a moment to think about this, because we have our 9/9, and then it summons a 12/4 out of there thanks to the turkey. That sounds great. Alternatively, oh, and then also a 2/2 fly, and then another 2/2 fly becomes 5/5s. So we're getting 2 5/5s, 12/4 off of the 9/9, right? All that's above the level so far. With the sheep side of things, we get 2 7/7s and a fly, 5/5. Each of these dying gives us another 5/5, so we get 3 5/5s and 2 7/7s. I know that was a lot of numbers. Hopefully that still translated over well, because those extra feint triggers do actually matter. It'd be a different story if we had a level 2 rooster, which gives us 2 chicks. But there's something to be said for that. Again, even if just for the fun side of it, where we can see how many flies we can get bugging our enemies here. The last thing I'll note that probably sinks it in as selling the sheep is that selling the sheep gives us 2 gold, which allows us to buy the fly and the chocolate. Unfreeze this garlic. So I think I've convinced myself with that alone. Maybe we'll level up the rooster anyway. Can bring the fly into the mix. Think dog first, by the way. You need the space when it dies. Oh, right, because this will bring out the chick and the fly. Yeah, we're good with that. Don't need the summon triggers anymore. Gonna throw the experience onto our turkey, unfreeze the sheep. And hey, even if we lose this round, we've got the basics down here. We can definitely take this somewhere. And we're going to be annoying as heck to fight up against, at the very least. Oh, the dog surviving that is huge. This is where we start to see it. Bring out a nice 5/5. Beautiful. I mean, even with that pufferfish, or blowfish, I guess, sniping our targets, thanks to the triple can, even our support units are looking pretty chonky in the back line there. And that is a thing of beauty. Perfect. Yeah, that triple can is huge, even for protecting us against things like Dolphin that will try and snipe these buddies, because a level 1 Dolphin, even a level 2 Dolphin, doesn't kill either, which is fantastic. And then, what do we do? Melon armor, switching up the garlic. It's definitely getting to the stage in the game where that becomes worth it, where we're almost guaranteed to be taking too big of a hit for garlic to really matter. So maybe I'll freeze you up and reroll once. Was hoping for turkey. Turkey or chocolate, friend? Guess maybe we'll do. Place garlic armor. Also protects us against a scorpion, which is huge. And then we can waste a few turns rerolling. I mean, we could level you. Not a huge deal right now. I'll freeze you. Why the heck not? So let's reroll a bit here. And that's a thing of beauty. Okay, definitely freeze this. And snap pick up the chocolate for our turkey. Oh my gosh. Okay, we could get real wacky with this now. It's almost too many spots used up for support characters. If we had the tiger in behind the turkey, over half of our squad is just meme support. But it does mean we're giving +12/+12 to everything, including the flies. So that's saying something for sure. Especially if our rooster gets to level 2 by then. We'll probably end up selling our dog if we want to roll that ridiculous meme-tastic build. But hey, we'll reroll for now. See what we get. Holy crap. This is a wacky store here. Everything we could ever want in the world, all coming at once. Makes decisions just that much harder. I wouldn't have even used that chocolate if I'd known you were coming up, friend. We could have saved it for a rooster. But is it too wild to unfreeze this? We sell our dog, put in the tiger. It's so funny if we do. It makes the bus stronger than our dog. When you put it that way. Doesn't that seem worth it? Running just the most annoying build you could possibly imagine, of course. Let's see how this handles. Definitely a decent fight here up against a few relatively tanky units. It's just going to be ridiculous though. Chunking through those flies everywhere. It is a thing of beauty for sure. Welcome to the team bus. I do love to see that. I mean, you can one-up the deer too for max memes. Oh my gosh, you're right. Oh, that's fantastic. I mean, we do run out of spots on our squad, and that's the main issue with that. I think we could do that instead of the tiger, but otherwise, like, there's just no room. What is one meant to do? But okay, do we go full tilt into this? I think we do. I'm gonna sell my dog, even if it's just for the funsies of the entire matter. Reroll once, reroll twice. Okay, don't really get too much. It interests me. I think we bring in the tigre. We're gonna miss out on one fly here, but that's not the end of the world. We could sell this rooster and swap it out. I would like to get you to level 2 though. As soon as rooster hits level 2, we can switch them with deer and get some better efficacy out of that. Let's just go nuts, shall we? Just plop those buddies down and see what the heck even happens here. Getting the +12s on everybody. It should be absurd with the flies involved. Fortunately, rooster doesn't take out the flamingo. Real shame. Her chick comes in strong enough that it's no problem whatsoever. Ooh, those melon armors are not great for us. The coconut armor even worse. Fortunately, that does take out the melon armor, and that just leaves us with one final dog. Beauty. Okay, you love to see it. Oh, it's stupid how well this is working, because it shouldn't. Like, look at this squad. Way too many support units. I think I will bring my fly up. I don't know how I feel about that. Summoning in a 2/2 after a turkey dies isn't going to do a whole lot for us. Mushrooming on our deer. I mean, right now we have the space for it. Oh wait, do we? Because it will want to summon in a deer, a bus, and a fly. No, we don't have the room. Why can't they just give us six slot squads, you know? It's just not fair. Let's just freeze both of these. We can reroll once and see what we get. Upgrading Tiger, not a huge deal for us here. I mean, we could just sell the fly and bring it in. Leveling up the fly isn't a huge deal. We're mostly squeaking by on the strength of our turkey bonuses. And that would just give them a nice little boost, bringing it up to 14/14. It's something. Do it, 1-up? I think we will. No, don't you worry. That sounds wacky and fun to me. Especially since bringing you in as a 1/1 immediately gets buffed to be stronger than you are in the first place, which is just absurd. But okay, that means we can afford to reroll a bit here. Could get the deer, I guess. Better than nothing. Is that or the fly? Let's go deer 1-up. We have another reroll in the chamber here. That works for me. We could even do the same with the rooster. Actually, the rooster does also just get better than they are naturally with the 1-up. It's too bad we don't have more room, though. Such a shame. It almost makes you wish that we didn't have the fly, because already this is looking ridiculous. We just need the room to pull it off. Maybe we'll end up selling the fly, as wild as that sounds. But okay, let's try this out. It's gonna be a trip, to say the least. That's a scary looking bison. Hopefully we can chunk through it. I do think we have enough targets here. It's okay. Brings in you, brings in you. Oh, we don't have the space for our poor deer itself. Oh, that's too bad. I mean, how does this chunk out? Oh, the snake killing us is not great. So that means that we leave their monkey alive. Such a shame, too bad. But okay, we've proven now definitively we just don't have the space for this. The question becomes, do we get rid of the fly? It seems stupid, right? Fly turkey, so fun, so strong. But do we get rid of the fly? Bring in even just another frontliner. We could bring in another level 1 deer to just be a placeholder in the front. Because then, if we think about it this way, the fly is giving us 2 summons off of this, and only giving us 1 summon off of this. And instead, if we let the 1-up take place and we level you up to level 2, and you have the space to work, that's giving us a chick out of this, as well as 2 more summons out of the deer. Is that stupid? Or is that brilliant to sell this? Another deer up front, too. It seems wild. Yeah, okay, the 1-up was not worth, but we could 1-up our turkey. See, okay, I think that the 1-up is genius. The only issue is we need the space. So, I'm going to get weird with it. We have one more life to work with. We have another fly in the shop if I change my mind after seeing this in action. But until then, I want to pop you down. I want to combine into you this way. Beautiful. Then I think I want you in the front. Not combine. Because now you'll summon the bus, which will get buffed. Then you'll summon 2 chicks, both get buffed. Then you'll summon a bus and a deer, both get buffed. Summon another bus, gets buffed. Right? You following? It seems great. Now I really want to one-up something else, like our rooster. So, let's try and get another one-up, shall we? Oh, such a shame. Such a shame, too bad. I mean, these bonuses aren't going to be a huge deal in the long run in this group. I think it's mostly about these summon triggers, so I'm just going to keep re-rolling. Even if we lose here, that's not the end of the world. Don't need the canned food. Let's re-roll again. Dang it, really wanted another one up just to fully lean hard into this meme-tastic build. Let's see how this works, if it works the way that I intended it to. You absolute fool. Oh, we didn't even see that they had a turkey too, and theirs is level 3. That's something. There goes our bus. Here come the chicks, which do get enough health to survive the bus. That's fantastic. And this is the moment of truth. Okay, we do take out the melon armor with our buses. We don't take out the chicks with our buses, unfortunately, which means this is a draw. We're going up against a very similar team to us. That was fantastic, but give me one more one-up. And we can get kind of stupid with this, I think. I don't know if it works with the rooster, because I think the rooster brings in 2 chicks, and then doesn't have that space up front. Oh, but it does work like this. Because you only took up 2 spaces for bus, deer, becoming double bus. So it may look kind of dumb, but I think this is brilliant. We'll see. Putting it all on the line here. I guess not quite. We have 2 losses until we're out of it, thanks to the draw there. Let's just go for a whole bunch of rerolls with the rest of our money. Another one-up. I mean, let's just play it safe. And give that to our turkey just in case they get sniped by something. Similarly, I might give it to my tiger. Just one-ups on the whole freaking squad. But this is going to be wild. Let's see what happens here. This is definitely a wonky build. I ain't never seen that before. I agree, Safid. Just wild. Okay, let's see if this works as intended again. Okay, looking stupid, looking good. Take out the melon armor for free. Always love that. Oh, okay, moment of truth. And then that brings in, oh, just 1, because it can't, you just don't have the room for this build. It's too good. And that's 10 wins. Okay. Well, that's one way to do it for sure. It's too bad. Losing there, we could have tried for one-ups on everybody on the whole squad, but hey, I'm not going to look 10 wins in the face. I think we take whatever we can get there. Fantastic. I think my very first win in this game was on this kind of build with the tiger-turkey combination. So it's fun to go back to that for sure. Take a break from just trying to build up as big of a bison as you possibly can to something a little bit wackier. Oh my gosh.